Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a book review video, and this is not just any ordinary book review video. This is the Christmas book review video, and most of the books, like half of them are Harlequin books, and the other half are just regular books that I have. Now, there are some books that I did that were Christmas books that weren't. I didn't want to read them for this book review video because they went along with the set. So I have to read the whole set before I get to the Christmas one. So let's start out with the last book I read that I finished yesterday. This is from a series called Tales from Grace Chapel Inn. It's called Home for the Holidays, and it's by Rebecca Kelly. And this is what it looks like. And this book's about these sisters that own this inn, Grace Chapel Inn. And they decide one of them decides for Christmas that they want to do like these Christmas tours around the little town and the inn, and each sister is supposed to come up with some kind of activity for them to do. And basically talks a lot about like the Pennsylvania Dutch and like their Christmas traditions and how they used to celebrate Christmas when they were kids and stuff like that. It was a really good book, but I really just don't like. I read a couple books in this series, and it doesn't really like reel me in. Like, this is the same company that makes the Stony Point Annie Attic books and the Anne's Library, Blue Hill Library books, and it's the Guidepost series. And this series, like, it's good, but like I just have like I'm not like connected into it like I usually am. I don't know why. It's just I don't know. I'm just didn't get into that book. So this one is another Guidepost book, or maybe this one isn't made by Guidepost. I don't know. But it's the Annie's Attic Mysteries. I love this series. I read them as I get them. This one is called A Stony Point Christmas. It's by K.D. McCrite. This is what it looks like. Now, these books and the Grace Chapel Inn books are all written by different people. This one is about Annie, and she lives in her great-grandmother's house, old Victorian house. And she lives in this small town in Maine, and everybody's getting ready for Christmas, and this mysterious Stony Point Santa is giving people money and things that, like, some people wouldn't buy for themselves, but they really need it, but they don't want to say it. And Annie is trying to figure out who this person is, and everybody thinks it's her because she's, like, the most giving person in this community. And then she wants to help out this homeless man, but this homeless man doesn't want her help. And then there's this woman that comes into her needle point group, and the other ladies in the group really don't like her because she doesn't fit in. And then on top of all this little girl comes into her house, and she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know how she got into Annie's house. She doesn't know anything about her until the very end on who she actually is the child to. And this book was really good. And the one thing I really like about this series is that it comes with these little bookmarkers, so you don't have to go rooting around or folding in the little like corners of the book to find your place. That's like the one thing I like about this series. So this one is a Harlequin book, and this is called The Christmas Dog. It's by Melody Carlson, and this is what it looks like. And it's about this woman who lives on the opposite side of this guy who bought this house that this elderly couple had. And nobody really knows anything about him. He's really mean. He doesn't get along with anybody, especially her. And she ends up finding this dog, and she thinks this dog is this guy's dog. And it's not, and they're trying to get together, they're trying to, like, figure it out, and then, her granddaughter comes to stay with her for a little bit because she's trying to figure out some things, and then eventually, they can't find, her grandmother can't find her, and she finds out something really, really, secretive that was going on, midway through the book. And the dog obviously like brings them together and stuff. And it's a really nice book. I really like that one out of all the ones I read. Now the other ones that I have, they kind of all go like together a little bit because they're all about babies. I like to read Harlequin books that have babies in them. I don't know why, I just do. So this one is Jingle Bell Babies by Kathryn Springer. This is an old Harlequin book. It's a larger print one, and this is what it looks like. It's about this guy who he lost his wife, he lost his house in this tornado, and then before his wife dies and stuff, they have these 3 babies, and he's all by himself. He doesn't know how to he's trying to find this engagement ring that he gave to his wife, and he can't find it, and he's worried about that. And on top of it, he's going through nannies like left and right because he doesn't like what they're doing and stuff like that. And then finally he meets this nanny he likes. I think she's like nanny number 4 or 5. And they end up hitting it off, and she's trying to help him take care of the babies and stuff like that, and trying to tell him, like, you have to move on, you can't just stay in the past and stuff like that. It was a really good book. I really enjoyed it, and it was a really nice book. This is what it looks like. I'm trying to do the Harlequin books first, because this one I don't remember, because these books, I read for so long, and then I was getting sick and stuff, and then we got another puppy. And this is called The Secret Christmas Twins by Tobin, McClain. It's another Harlequin book. This is what it looks like. And it's about this woman who has these babies, these twin boys. And they come to live with their uncle. I forget why. They just come to live with the twins' uncle, which is, I think, her brother, or her, not one, it couldn't be a brother, it was her boyfriend's uncle or something like that, because he got put in jail and stuff. Her husband's, not her husband, her boyfriend's, her baby daddy got put in jail and stuff like that, and these aren't her babies. There are, the man she's going to fall in love with, his sister's babies, and nobody thinks it. They think, she stole these babies, and they find out that his sister had OD'd on drugs and stuff, and she was supposed to be doing good. And they find out later that she actually made her friend, which is the girl that he's going to fall in love with, her babies, because she couldn't be able to raise them because of what was going on in her life. And all she wants to do is, find this perfect little family to help them, and that she doesn't want to keep it a secret from them and stuff like that. It was a really good book. I really liked it. It was a really good book. And I always leave, they always put, sometimes not in the Christmas dog one, but most of the time they put, these little, intermissions where, you can get a free book or whatever. I never know what to do with them, because I'm well, if I give the book away, maybe somebody else can enjoy it, so sometimes I take them out, sometimes I don't. And this is the last Harlequin book I have for this set. It's the Christmas Baby Bonus. It's by Yvonne, Lindsay, and it's in a Desire. It's called Billionaires and Babies. It's about this guy who's this billionaire guy, and he's notorious for being, he's not notorious for being a man. He has this assistant, and they're getting ready for this big Christmas housewarming party, and this woman leaves a baby at his doorstep, and she is, his assistant, doesn't think that it's his baby. She thinks that it's his brother's baby, and his brother died. I don't know how he died, I forget. But he died, and he was a notorious ladies' man, so people think maybe they're, whatever, because I think they were twins. I think in this book, the 2 brothers were twins. And so he decides he's going to take this baby on, but he doesn't know anything about raising a baby. And she does, and he's trying to understand why, because she doesn't have any kids or anything that he knows of, and she's battling with these inner demons as well, because she thinks she did something, but she really didn't, to hurt her family. And all in all, they're trying to figure out what to do with this baby, because they're trying to figure out if it's his or his brother's or whose, and if it's not, what are they supposed to do with the baby, stuff like that. And it's all starting around Christmas time, and then they get snowed in, and they're starting to, like, get feelings for each other. It's a really good book. Like, I think this one was probably, like, out of the 4 that I read, this one was probably, like, my favorite one, because it was just, like, oh, it's, like, it had, like, some, like, surprise, like, things that happened in it that I thought, oh, like, this is, like, weird or whatever, but it was a really good book. It wasn't, like, predictable like most Harlequin books are. So this book, I don't even, like, all these books, I think, I got them all like book sales and stuff. And this one I got is called The Story of the Other Wise Men by Henry Van Dyke. And this is what it looks like. And it's basically about the 3 wise men who go to see baby Jesus and give him the gifts like gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And this 4th one, I don't know if there was ever a 4th wise man, I don't know. But what happens is these wise men belong to the same religious group. And they all heard about the prophecy about the star and everything. And he wants to come with them. The 4th wise man wants to come with them, and he gets lost, and I think he starts out like a day behind them, and when he finally gets to the manger and stuff like that, everybody's gone. They said, the baby and Mary and Joseph, they all went to Egypt to get away from Herod's wrath of killing all the male babies and stuff. And so he has these gifts, and I think he has 3 of them. I forget, I think it was like emerald, pearl, and a ruby. I think those were the 3. I know pearl was one of them. And throughout the book, he's trying to find Jesus. Again, he's trying to find the baby, and he's getting lost, and he's losing all of his gifts. He's giving them to people to bribe them and stuff like that. And finally, in the last couple parts, he finally finds Jesus. I think it's before Passover, when Jesus dies, like somewhere around there, I think. And he's finally happy because he's like, okay, I've done my mission. Because he wanted to see Jesus before he died, this wise man. I forget his name, but yeah, and it was a nice book. I really liked it. They're not in like chapters, they're kind of in like parts, but it was a short little book. Like, this is how short the book is. It's not really that long of a read or anything, and the words are really big on a page. This one is called Duck the Halls. It's a Megan Laszlo Christmas Mysteries by Donna Andrews, and these books are always funny because they always have puns in their names. Like, instead of Deck the Halls, it's Duck the Halls. And this is what it looks like, and this book is about this woman, and these churches are having these problems where people are pulling pranks on the churches. Like, the one church had a ton of skunks in it, the other one had like 100 or so ducks in it or something, and then a snake was in the rafters when the choir was singing for a Christmas performance. And she's trying to figure out who really did it, because she finds out, she eavesdrops and figures out these boys did 2 of the pranks to these churches. And as this is all going on, these churches are having these like nativity scenes going on, and these choirs and these pageants for Christmas, and they need to figure out where to go. They need to figure out like a mutual place to go, and she's trying to figure it all out. And but the last prank with the ducks, they don't know who did it, and she's trying to make sure that it's not the teenage boys that she overheard talking about it. And this book was really funny. I really like these books. I don't have a lot of these. I only find them like rarely, but I like these books. And most of them have like animal puns in them. Like, I think most of the ones I've read had animal puns in it, which was funny to me. But this one was really a really good book. It was really good. So the last book I have is basically self-explanatory. It's called The Santa Claus Book by Irene Smith. And I mean, come on, it's Christmas, you gotta have Santa Claus in a book, or watch Santa Claus movies or something. And this is what it looks like. And this book didn't come like this. It was, my dog ripped this part off of the book, so you guys know. And it was basically, this woman compiled all of these little stories, excerpts from stories, poems about Santa Claus, to help you learn more about Santa Claus and different, regions and how they explain what Santa Claus is and what he does and stuff like that. And I really liked it. It wasn't like, I wanted to say it was like a biography about Santa Claus, but it was like little stories stuff like that, which was a really cute book. I'm going to keep that one. But that's all the books I have for this video. So everybody have a Merry Christmas, even though probably when I post this video it won't be Christmas yet. I'll see you guys next time with another video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.